This is a guilty pleasure for us because we don't cover him.
I love it. Opie's been doing a great job of filling the void so that John has left. And you guys might not know this about Opie, but he's also trying to be a TikTok star. Oh. So Opie does 3 things when you watch his YouTube channel. He does his morning streams, and that's every morning. Okay. And then he does live at Gebhard's. And that is with his buddy Matt, who owns a bar down the street from him in his block. And he goes over there once a week or sometimes twice a week and records a show with him. I'll get some clips of that coming up. And then he also does the Unleashed stuff where he just walks around New York and talks to people. And he takes clips from all of those things and reproduces them for YouTube Shorts and TikTok. And he's very wacky. This video right here is a great example of how 62-year-old men behave on TikTok. Let me read to you that's the whole video, by the way. Let me read the hashtags that he included on this to try to get it to go viral. Hashtag funny dance, hashtag dance comedy, hashtag silly moves, hashtag dance memes, and hashtag funny shorts.
How is the hashtags more embarrassing than the video?
I know. That's why I always point it out whenever we're on Who Are These Socials. We'll look at Opie's TikTok, and I always point out the hashtags that he puts out there. It's so bad.
Horrific.
Wow. That would have been a big hit about 5 years ago.
When everyone was dancing on TikTok.
Yeah. If only you had a Vine account, man.
If only he was like 22 and had and was female and had huge tits, that might actually work for him.
I just downloaded the TikTok app. I follow one person, and that's that dude that we make frog videos. He's guy that's always crying on TikTok, and that's the only thing I follow.
You got to follow Balin Dupree, and you got to follow Woke Dad. The shoe fits.
I'll look into it. I barely want to
follow our TikTok account too. Sure.
I don't want to open the fucking thing. I hate and the fact that this guy's like, let me put the right hashtags in to help send this along. Like, what the fuck?
And I did pull these from YouTube. These are YouTube Shorts, so he's putting them across platform. And here's another example. I don't know if you guys know about Opie's obsession with poop.
Yeah, he's got a weird thing. I remember him telling a story about shitting in the ocean and stuff.
Yes,
right?
Yes, he's got a weird thing about poop. And he loves when dogs poop in New York City, and he turns it into hilarity.
Can I just say, hold on.
Hi, duty.
And look back.
That's the whole video.
Can I just say about shitting in the ocean? The whole, I think, bonus of shitting in the ocean, which I don't condone. Let me just say that. The whole point of shitting in the ocean is you don't go then tell people that you shit in the ocean. Nobody knows you shit in the ocean. Yeah. That's the beauty of it.
The anonymity of it is the the selling point.
If you shit in a pool, that story's going to get out either way. Right. But if you shit in the ocean,
hey, there might be some fingers being pointed.
Right.
That could be a very rare breed of fish. You don't know what that is.
Yeah. If you're in the ocean, you're like, is that seaweed? Is that a jellyfish? And you move. All it's got to do is brush against you, and you're out.
Yeah, you see a log floating by you. Holy Christ! Look at the size of that fish.
Yeah.
But he's walking away from this thing like he's thinking to himself, like what a 10-year-old would do. Like, totally got him.
Got him.
Look at me. They're looking back.
That's going to go viral.
Yep. Can I read you the title of that video we just watched?
Yeah. Please.
It's called High Duty, Smells Horrendous. Rare corpse flower, a.k.a. Stinky Pinky, blooms in NYC. He's tried for everything. He's tried every little thing he can do. Like, is this funny? Is that funny? What about this thing?
Wow. Is he less funny than John?
Yes. Wow. I shouldn't react that quickly.
That's a good poll question.
Yeah.
But Opie has the same reaction that John has when you call him a dabbler or a whack packer than when you tell him that he doesn't know how to do radio. He's not funny. He doesn't have that sense of humor. It's the one thing he focuses on, and it ruined the show for him. It ruined Opie and Anthony for him. Right. And now it's just now his nightmare is that everybody was right.
Well, Zen, we just played a clip recently. It's funny you say that. You're so on point. There was a chatter who goes, and he didn't realize he was reading the chat, and then it got to the end, and it said, like, do you ever feel bad about not being the least funny person on your show or something like that? And Opie's response is so Stuttering John-esque. He goes, oh, there's plenty of moments of me being the funny one on the show. You can look it up on YouTube. Instead of just being like, yeah, I was there with Anthony and Jim. Of course I'm the least funny person in the room. You know, like, just that's such an obvious thing.
Yeah.
Instead he has to be like, no, I was the funny one sometimes.
Well, if you think about it, there was a shift for this guy, right? Like when Opie and Anthony started, Opie was the radio professional. Opie was in charge. Opie was the big dog, right? Because everything knowledge-wise, he knew more than anybody else there, and experience-wise, he had that beat. But then a shift happened. Then you have Anthony and Norton and these comics coming in, and the shift is you don't have to do by-the-book radio anymore. You can do this hilarious hanging thing where everybody's just hanging out, ripping each other, ripping what's in the news, and not formatted, not a radio show. It was mics in a room where comedians were hanging out, and the shift changed where they didn't need the professional radio guy anymore. This show was on another direction of funny, and he unfortunately couldn't hang with the people in that room.
And there's another element to that too, because Opie, when it was the late 90s, early aughts, was the shock jock.
Right.
He would do the crazy things that you're just like, the audience would be like, whoa, I can't believe he did that. And then, with the FCC and all the, just the landscape of things, that wasn't really appreciated anymore, and things changed. And so it had to switch to like comedy and comedians coming in and busting balls. And that Opie was just out of his element at that point. He talks about it now. He's just like, I didn't even belong on my own show. Instead of realizing like, well, find your role. If your role is to run the show, figure out when we go to calls, figure out when we have to go to commercial break, whatever that is, being the captain of the ship, as it's oftentimes discussed. Yeah. Do that. You're on a huge, awesome show, and you're meeting tons of famous comedians and hanging out with them. That's great.
Yeah, everybody needs a straight man. So it's fine. You don't have to. Not everybody has to be funny. That's why we have Zen.
Right. When a guy's doing an impression and crushing it, he doesn't have time to look at the clock and know that they're coming up on a break, or they got to read, do a live read, or whatever the fuck it is, right? Yep. Like their job is to be funny.
It's like a girl on a funny show or sitcom. She has to, her role is to be like, come on guys, relax, take it easy, like let's keep this hilarity down, take it down a peg. We got stuff to do. Like that
also
was
on
him.
Radio. Yeah.
Exactly.
The whole of the show.
But nobody noted. Did you ever notice when Opie and Anthony was on? Did you ever think to yourself, Opie wasn't supposed to be there? I thought he did a great job doing what he did.
Honestly, I remember when Opie wasn't there and it was just Anthony and Jim, because I remember I was dating my wife at the time, and she loved Opie and Anthony, and so did I. So I would get before her, and I would say, hey, Jen, good news. No Opie today. Great episode. She's, oh, cool. I can't wait to listen to it. So I remember like looking forward to Opie not being there, but I didn't like hate Opie or thought he ruined the show or anything like that. It was still a great show with Opie.
Right. I like how Carl's like, I didn't hate him. His first text of the morning. Fuckface isn't there today, hon.
Yeah. Okay. Good point.
Yeah. I love that this relationship, really the foundation of hate is what holds it up for you two.
The first text my wife ever sent to me.
Yeah.
Opie and Anthony was syndicated in Rochester. They were on from 2 to 5 in the afternoons. One day they were off. The first text I ever got from her was like, where are the guys?
Right.
That was the first communication we had over a phone was, where's Opie and Anthony today? So it's very funny how this whole thing has played out for us.
See, I think it was. I wasn't very comfortable what you did with me last night.
This is long before we were dating.
Okay.
All right, so here's another fun thing that Opie does. I know Anthony has played this video before, but Opie will stop at a red light that he knows is going to take a little while in New York, and he'll jump out of his car and film himself dancing in the street.
Risky. great if somebody handed him $1. He looks like a homeless guy.
Better if somebody jumped in the car and took off.
Yeah, dancing for donations, right? It'd be funnier if he did a thing. The music's playing and he gets out with a squeegee and then he just leans over the windshield.
Cleans his own windshield, right?
His own windshield. That'd be hilarious. He's not even like like if you're gonna do it, man.
Right.
Do it.
He's a tryhard.
Yeah.
It's so obvious to everyone. Just like, Jesus, Opie, all right, we get it. You're trying to be funny. So wacky.
Like, you ever like driving around in LA and you'll see like a legit TikToker who's trying to do these things. They got a lighting guy, they got two cameras, they're fucking and they're dancing like it's fucking, it's a dance show.
Yeah, they're making a scene, right?
Yeah. And then they go viral because of that, because the effort is reflective in it.
Right.
Yeah,
he comes out there and shakes his shoulders for 2 seconds, and then slowly walks back to the car with his head down.
Social media is unbelievable with the talent. The amount of talent that people have on social media is mind-boggling. And then here comes this guy thinking to himself, yeah, I can get in on this. This is what they needed. This is exactly what they needed. A 60-year-old washed-up radio host.
Yeah.
And what's great, Zen, is that he's still trying this to this day. Like, he's been doing this for years. He's going to catch on one of these days. These TikToks don't get any views. It's just me and Mike on Who Are These Socials watching this.
It's like we're old dudes. We shouldn't be on TikTok.
No.
I'm gonna buy a fucking Corvette and pull up to a high school football game, and like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you talking about? Move on.
Yeah, you're not Bill Belichick. Get off social media.
Yeah. Let the fucking young people have their shit, and we have our shit.
Right. Yeah. Even if a 60-year-old is hilarious, the young people aren't going to give a shit.
Right.
Yeah.
They want to see young people. I don't blame them. Who wants to look at us?
All right.
You got another one?
I have one more short for us here.
Yeah.
And this one, I'll give you the title. This might be a little bit of a spoiler, but it says Soprano Dude Mishap, Spotting Celebrities in NYC, # celebrity sighting, # Sopranos.
Oh, # kill me.
Soprano dude. Soprano dude, love your restaurant.
Insulting.
Mike Imperioli. That's awesome. Could he be more of a pompous a-hole, though? Yeah, he completely ignored me like that. Didn't say a word.
Rightly so.
Dude, this is the guy who used to probably have that guy in the studio with him.
Yeah.
Promoting the new season of Sopranos.
Well,
and now he's just walking by him and going, hey, Sopranos.
Right.
What
and
a douche.
It didn't even stop. I mean, it didn't give it. What's it? My Imperial is supposed to go, yeah, hi, come back. I want to address what you said.
He's supposed to chase him down the street.
Yeah.
Also, he called him Sopranos dude.
Guy.
Like, how fucking insulting is that? Tell me you're not looking for a confrontation by going, hey, Sopranos dude.
Right.
I thought it was going to be like a fake celebrity sighting.
Right. No,
like,
that really was him.
Yeah. Like somebody, I thought that was blah, blah. Like, that's the bit.
It was a fake celebrity taking the video.
The one time something interesting is happening on this fucking
It does nothing with it.
Does nothing.
But yeah, it's funny. Adam Carolla always talks about how guys will be like, hey, man show, and that's like Adam Carolla's way of saying that he, douchebags recognize him, but that's literally like the joke.
Yeah.
You just call out the project they were in.
That's right. How many times I've heard, "Tim, Mom," it's like
that I believe.
Christ. Yeah.
That I believe.
Shit,
you
guys
want to look at when he's doing a professional show with his buddies at Gebhard's?
Please.
Yeah. All right. So this is how the most recent episode started off. And this is, it's going to be a wacky show when you see a show start off like this.
What is up, everybody? Good evening, and welcome to Live at Get Farts. Almost. With your host, Matt, who owns the Get Parts beer culture on the Upper West Side. We got the Littlefoot.
Hello.
We got the Opester, also known as the Kid. The Kid. And we're in the basement at Get Parts because we're all suffering from the allergies. And we're literally trying to hide from pollen.
It's ridiculous.
All right, you have three guys with two microphones. Let's start there. Opie's constantly like, he doesn't even ask a question. He just goes to Littlefoot, whatever the fuck that guy's name is, just puts the microphone in front of his face.
Yeah, I just love they're in a pollen panic room underneath the Gephards.
With the Opster, a.k.a. the Kid.
Kid.
So what I don't understand about Opie, one of the things I don't understand about him, and this is since he's been off the show, does he think it's cool to not have the up-to-date equipment that you need to make a professional broadcast?
It's not that he thinks it's cool. It gives him an out. So when people say, Opie, what happened to you, man? You're doing this show and there's only 36 people watching it. You used to be open for everything. He'd be like, I'm not even trying. I don't care. I'm just having fun with my buds. Yeah, that literally is why he's doing that.
But it's crazy because maybe if he did care, maybe if he did a really good professional show, he had big guests on, call in favors. Call in the guys that used to come into Opie and Anthony, have interesting conversations with them. I mean, he was steering the ship with him and Jim, right, for a while.
Sure.
Right.
So, I mean, he could, I mean, with his years of experience as a radio personality, probably put on a professional show that's somewhat entertaining to half the people that enjoyed Opie and Anthony.
And I don't understand how these guys are still hanging around him. Now, this is embarrassing. And this has been going on for a while, this Gebhard's thing, that the owner of Gebhard's and broadcasting from there. And then we're going to see Ron the Waiter and another guy show up in the background in a little bit. And these guys are all remembering Opie when he was Opie. And they're like, this is going to happen again, and I'm going to be a part of it. Yeah. They're not realizing this is just, they're embarrassing themselves every time they go online.
It's like if you were friends with a Major League Baseball, player that doesn't play anymore.
Right.
But he shows up to your house with a bat and a ball and mitts, but it's wiffle ball. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not even real baseball. And you're like, am I really going to play wiffle ball with this guy?
When I set up the tee.
Yeah. You're like, okay, this is weird.
There was
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. There was a jeans commercial I remember with Brett Favre just throwing the ball around with his buddies. I'm like, this is in no world does this exist. It's just like, hey, let's play some football in the back, Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Got a Nerf ball,
like it's break your fingers.
Yeah, guy's insured with Lloyd's of London. It's like, let's go play catch. All right, yeah,
sure.
Oh, Marv has his dick out again.
Right.
Yeah. Well, there's that too, right? All right, so we're talking about allergies. We're talking about the pollen.
Yeah, man.
I don't want to say that Opie doesn't bring prep. He's got stuff he wants to talk about. He's got some bullet points on here. And so he asks his buddy.
Does he ask him generic or name brand allergy medication?
Well, it's actually worse than that. If you can believe it.
And it's been really, really windy in New York City too. So you got the wind, you got the pollen.
I'm down to 3 Zyrtex. I'm up to 3 Zyrtex a day.
And how's your piece? Is it mush?
Why is that an effect?
When you take cold medicine or allergy medicine, yeah, man, I got a mush right now. You got a mush?
No.
All right, so I can tell you what's going on here. Opie is doing morning radio from 1995. I live in Rochester. His mentor is Brother Weeze. This is the Brother Weeze show. He's on YouTube talking about, can you get a boner? But he's got to say, you got mush down there? Is it mush?
Oh, God. And he's like, well, you better have mush. We're in a basement with 3 dudes. Who's fucking fully torqued right now?
He's immediately into boner talk. He's like, there's pollen in the air. We're popping Zyrtex, and who's got boner problems?
How's your little fella? Is he having a hard time getting up? Can I say little fella on radio?
You're right. Yeah, it's so weird the way he's coding his language.
Like that's the thing he does, though, right? Like, he does say fuck and stuff like that?
No, he does. He does not swear. If he does, he's slipped up.
Oh, okay.
And he gets mad at Ron the Waiter when Ron the Waiter uses terms that he doesn't think are FCC friendly.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
I'm a throwback. He's old school.
What he's trying to do is prove that he can get a job back on the radio again.
Yeah, then buy a fucking microphone. Prove that.
like pick a lane, It's
right.
Like, are you gonna make a professional show or are you gonna dick around?
You know what else lets people know you're ready to get back into radio? Headphones. You know what I mean?
Yes. Or I don't know, maybe like having an audience. A radio station might see that and go, "Oh, we should probably hire this guy. He has an audience."
It's crazy.
It's great. Anthony was supposed to be the fuck up, right? Anthony was like the wild guy, the fuck up, the dude who was he was a fucking punk rock guy or whatever kind of music he played.
Showed up late, drank all the time,
smoked cigarettes, had threesomes, all that stuff. He had the foresight to build a fucking studio after he got fired, and from there built his empire up again. This guy just doesn't. It's crazy.
He founded Legion of Skanks and Shane Gillis and Red Bar. Like, Anthony went on to create a network of tons of people that we all still watch on YouTube and various platforms.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the guy who is not and did not go to school to learn this industry, getting an opportunity and succeeding in this field. And having worked in all these other shit fields to get to this point, which is a total, I mean, this is house money you're playing with. This isn't something you were supposed to do.
I don't know if you know this, Shuli, but I wasn't in radio. I was in a thing called marketing.
Right.
Before I never talk about it, but before I started doing this.
Yeah. So for him
helps
to
you appreciate it a little bit more.
Exactly. Whereas if you're sitting there going, I belong here. This is what I do. This is who I am, I deserve, just get it. Just get it. Just earn that shit.
Guys, you have to watch this one because we're not done with the boner talk and the pollen talk here. This continues to go on.
More boner talk.
But the newsmen, they're saying we got like 2 weeks left.
Oh, great.
2 weeks of mush nuts?
2 weeks of mush, and then it goes back to
So get ready, guys.
He's screaming about his boner with two other guys in a basement of a bar.
Yeah.
Right now.
Poop and boner.
Well, keep us in the loop, Opie. Let us know when you're able to get an erection again. That's
2 weeks.
really important for all of us.
Now, I'm a fan of WATP, guilty pleasure. Sorry, Shuli. I watched the show, and
It's not a guilty pleasure. What?
You know the rules, man. That's
well, you don't know how things work here. Sometimes I got to put a stake in my eye when we have guests here because Shuli didn't like something I did.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys talked. He was talking about this with his friend, wasn't he? About Benadryl, and he went to go to his friend's wedding. He was also again. This is not like a new topic for him to bring up on his show. He likes talking about mushy boners.
Yeah, about not being able to get it up.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but he keeps putting the microphone back to that guy behind him without asking a question. He just is giving him the microphone. And when you have talent, and I've seen this in many instances in sports and broadcasting, you bring everyone else up. Mm-hmm. Like, you're so good that everyone else is elevated because of your presence. Opie is the opposite. He finds these loser rejects and makes them worse. It's impossible to work with this asshole.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the only other person I think who can pull this off is Brennan. He has these people on and completely fumbles every time, to the point where these quote unquote idiots are goofing on him to his face, and he doesn't even see it.
Well, to Kevin's credit, at least he leaves a blank space of like 3 or 4 minutes while he's looking at his phone or something, so they can just do whatever they want.
That is true. They run free.
So Opie, being a professional radio guy, resets the topics about 10 minutes into the show.
All right, Hamilton. Cool, man. Yeah, it is cool. So we got the allergies, we got the wind, we got New York City making believe it wants to turn it to spring. I don't know. Nope. We got a jet that's missing. What?
Yeah.
How much was that jet?
Player? Well, is it missing or did it just fall off the aircraft carrier?
It sunk. They didn't anchor it down, right?
I'm waiting for Opie to turn around to the guy in the back going, "Can you keep the Skittles bag down, please?"
Yeah, so now we got a crew down there.
Yeah.
Listen, I got to change these kegs. Can you guys wrap this shit up?
Yeah, there's a bar back who's just like, you guys fucking in the way again.
I'm sure this is the last thing this guy wants to use this area for, is just a bunch of dudes hanging out doing a podcast.
He talks about his 2 young children are upstairs in the bar during this show. And Opie's like, come on, we got to do a podcast and get away from the pollen. Okay, cool. All right, you guys ready for? I got 2 more clips I want to play for you.
Yeah.
How about some hot Beyonce takes?
Ooh.
Opie recently went on a rant on TikTok about this Beyonce trying to be a cowgirl thing.
Nobody's talking about it.
He's keeping up, man. He's keeping up what's going on. And so he brings that up.
I'm learning that slowly but surely, but I never liked the Beyonce, especially with her trying to make believe she's a cowgirl all of a sudden. So I pointed it out.
She's from Houston. That doesn't mean you ever rode a horse. I cannot confirm or I have no confirmation of whether
she's from Houston. What does that mean as far as being a cowboy? There's not a cell in her body that screams cowgirl.
So when you think,
I was gonna say.
I have to choose. You think Morgan Wallen is a cowboy?
Morgan Freeman. Who the hell is that?
He's one of those country singers.
I wouldn't know that. Why would I know that?
Why do you bring up cowboys in?
Right, yes.
Yeah.
It brings up one of the most famous country singers. Yeah. And goes, none of them were cowboys. They're all just posing like this. That's part of the shtick. And Opie's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I love that the guys are literally trying to work with him on this, and he gets mad at him.
He shuts it down immediately.
You're not throw me country music names.
Why would I know that, even though I'm the one who brought it up?
Well, it's funny because also, when was this? When was this episode? Recently?
4 days ago.
Okay, because Morgan Wallen was in the news for SNL. I mean, it was a big thing walking off last month or two.
Yeah.
So to not know the name just means he's fucking clueless about everything.
Yes, he should definitely know what he's talking about, or at least be like, "Oh, who's that?"
Right.
Like keep the conversation going. Just like, I don't know what that is. Yeah. But I think Opie's point, and this is why he thinks he's edgy and whatever he's trying to do here, is that Beyonce can't be a cowgirl because she's black.
Right.
Isn't that basically what he's saying right there? Yes. Yeah. They're like, well, she's from Houston, it's Texas. I don't know.
She's a cowgirl cell in her body. Sickle cells, yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right. So then we get back. So this conversation goes nowhere, and then it circles back to Beyonce again a little while later, and we learn about what Opie actually is up to.
And her wearing the stupid white cowboy hat,
it's a good album cover.
It annoyed all country music fans.
Cultural appropriation right there. Racist. Nah, I think it's fine. Why get fed up over it? People bought the record. Who gives a shit?
I didn't care. I was just looking for clicks on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
So that is so telling right there. And I believe Opie when he says that.
Yep.
He's just trying to find some controversial thing that'll get him clicks on TikTok. But that's why it's not interesting, because you're not interested in it. Opie doesn't have any actual interests in things. So when he talks, it's just babble. If Anthony Cumia, for example, were to talk about Beyonce changing to a country performer, I bet he'd have some takes on it. I bet he has some thoughts and feelings around that they would be kind of passionate about. Whereas Opie just goes, I don't know, I'm just looking for clicks.
Yeah, you don't think he'd open with, what's with this white hat, folks? You don't think Anthony would open with that?
Probably not.
Well, it's a coward thing. It's like he doesn't want to have a take, because that means that he would have to defend his opinion.
Or lose whatever number of people that don't agree with.
Well, when you always insinuate that other people are racists and they're not nice people, and then you go and then you try to have an actual point on something, you have to be careful, because everybody has there's always another point to it.
Yeah, he never gave a reason why she should not do country music.
Right.
Yeah, the guy gave that reason. Well, she's from Texas, so.
Also, Beyonce dresses up in outfits all the time. That's what she does. She's a performer. This is just a different outfit than the one. And listen, I'm not defending Beyonce's country album. It's garbage, and it's ridiculous that she's doing this. But
don't talk about Queen Bee like that. Okay?
I don't care.